Okay, I think we've delved far enough topic in that previous subject to warrant talking about movies.
Woo! I've been watching more movies since moving out of my parents than ever with living with my parents.
Hmm.
Which that was 17 years of living with my parents. So you do the math.
You saw, what was it, Megamind?
I've seen Megamind, Saw, great, now I gotta remember everything I've seen. Jackass 3D.
You actually went and saw Jackass 3D.
Yeah.
You fucking fool.
Never see that movie with family. Just family. I said the same thing about year one. I had to watch it with my mom, my uncle, and my little sister. My youngest little sister, who was 11 at the time.
So, Megamind.
Megamind was brilliant. You, okay, people. It's supposed to be like a dueling movie with uh, Despicable Me, and the fact that they're both about supervillains who like become nicer,
I
but
guess.
it's really not comparable. They're both brilliant movies. Um, Megamind looked like it wasn't going to be good. I wanted to see it anyway because DreamWorks Pixar nerd, and it was very well done. Just I've never been a person to care about the cast in a way that a cast with well-known people will drive me to see a movie more.
Hmm.
But like the cast of Megamind is supposed to be huge. Um, look it up for yourself because I don't really remember everybody. The
Wasn't Will
writing's
Ferrell
good,
in it?
huh?
Wasn't Will Ferrell in it?
I think he plays the main character,
Oh, that's right.
and then I think the one fat guy who this makes me seem out of date, but I think it's no, it's the fat guy from Get Him to the Greek, um, who plays another character, and then anyway, it was well acted. It looked absolutely beautiful. The writing was brilliant. The characters were dynamic. They were deep. The whole point of the story was that you can change your destiny isn't known, so you can change it at the drop of a hat. And they just presented that well. I loved it.
Would you like to go into any more detail, or you just want to give a star rating?
I'd give it 4.5 blue super brains out of 5.
Okay, then.
I
So, you also... I wasn't even aware there was a new Saw movie.
Yep, Saw 3D.
Jesus
If
Christ.
you've seen any other Saw movie, you've seen every other Saw movie. I got dragged to it. I saw it in 3D. They utilize, you know how 3D is a gimmick.
Yeah.
It was originally a cheap gimmick. They'd go out of their way to express that it was a gimmick with like the moving out their hand towards the camera or whatever.
Yeah.
This did that in spades, and it was terrible. Like even I'm not even a fan of the series, and it just diverged so far from the original concept where it was a suspense thriller. I said suspense filler, didn't I?
You're getting influenced way too much by Larry.
Yeah, I've been talking to him quite a bit. Plus, I'm kind of tired. Haven't eaten today. Anyway, back to talking. Back to talking about Saw. Basically, it was just Gorn, pure and simple.
Stop. Gorn?
Gore porn in a term that says they just went out of their way to provide the goriest material possible.
Okay, then.
Thank you, TV tropes. Ruining my life, which is a trope in itself.
Yeah.
God damn it. Anyway, I just condemned like the 20 people who are gonna watch this to a life of TV tropes.
Fuck.
Who cares?
Losing so
Anyway,
many people every day to that shit. I forget the number. I don't
anyway,
think the number exists.
from an earlier movie, they had a bear trap type mechanism that pulled your jaws apart. I don't know whether it goes off or not. I just know that you don't see the result. In this one, you get an up close, in your face showing of what happens.
In 3D.
3D. Skinheads. Killing skinheads is less apprehensible, but the fact that it was built up that they had no chance of redemption didn't help things. Basically, it was 4 skinheads. One was chained to a garage door. One was there's a car and they're like in a garage. One was chained in front of directly in front of the car to the garage door. There was a chick underneath the back with her head underneath the back tire. There's a guy whose jaw and arms were like chained to the back of the car. There was a guy whose back was glued with some space age super glue that apparently rips off your entire skin if you try and peel away from it.
Space age technology.
Basically, he had to rip off all the skin on the back of his arms and his back to pull a lever so that the car wouldn't drop down on the girl's head and speed forward, ripping off the jaw and arms of the guy in back and cutting the other guy in half, and then crashing into a car, causing the guy in the car to fly off, despite the fact that it's already been established that he has to rip his skin off in order to reach this. He just flies right out of the car and dies. It also has a thing I like to call the automatic crematorium that basically just spawns out of the ground and engulfs this chick. The main character had no chance of survival. It was really convoluted. It was just a terrible movie. Notice how I say more about terrible movies than I do about good movies?
Star rating?
1 mutilated skull out of 5. I want people to go out and see good movies. That's why I don't really like talking about them. Bad movies I'll rant all day about.
So, Jackass 3D.
If you've seen one episode of Jackass, you've pretty much seen every other Jackass.
I've seen the first movie. Does that count?
Yeah.
All right.
Basically, it's just them doing stupid stunts.
Yeah.
It's like a mix of the first and second movies where there's not as much gross out stuff as the second movie. But it's still there.
Yeah.
They kind of ruined some of it with the trailer. It kind of shows some of the more surprise-based pranks.
Yeah.
I don't know. See it if you're like a huge fan of the series.
Don't watch it with family.
Don't watch it with family. No. Friends, that's cool. Closer friends, yeah. Girlfriend or family, no. Unless you want to get dumped or disowned. Of course, I was dragged to it by family, so, whatever.
Star rating?
I'm
3 crutches out of 5?
I don't want to do crutches. I'm trying to think of something relevant to the movie. 2.5 dildo cannons out of 5. They have one in the movie.
Okay.